A's and B's, take it away.
So, I'm a little confused still. I mean, I talked about it earlier. I still don't see why Bobat is on Hunter and Bushy's in the jungle.
Bushy, you're right, yeah. And well, in game number 1, it was not too terribly satisfying. But here, the Knights Watch have 4 Spicy Waffles into a first position Alquag ban. So I guess it was worth it at the end of the day. We said, is it going to be high enough value out of that first pick position to really warrant, you know, picking it there?
It sure was.
And it sure was. It went, what, like 8 or 9-0?
It was bajillion and 1. Yeah, something like that. Bologna's going to get banned away from the first slot as well. Very strange to see people throwing away the Bologna pick. I mean, that was almost a guaranteed ban coming out from Red. Athena, once again, makes it through picks and bans as Serket and Sylvanas get taken out. I assume this will be an Athena pick. Although we just saw Bushy play it, and it wasn't very
underwhelming.
Successful.
But Flurry Q, maybe a little bit better. I think they were trying, in the last game it seemed a little bit like Spicy Waffles were reaching a little bit for some counter pick kind of opportunities, getting that Hercules Athena, but usually you'll see that Guardian played in the jungle or the off roll to kind of force the hand of the other team. But Geb's still available in the pool. It was not really very effective, honestly.
I mean, they just gave Moex a stronger Guardian, right? I mean, that's what just happened. But for Bushy to basically play a god that's very similar to Athena, semi-global presence, right? Decent AoE damage around him and a little bit of poke as well. Has that, you know, taunt, very similar to Tectonic Rift. So he's not really switching up the playstyle too much. We're going to see Ra locked in. Now, this is most likely going to be for the mid. Although we know that Game Hunter does like Ra as well.
Yeah, he does, but we haven't seen many mages in the soul lane. But I guess if you are going to draft one, it's good to have the Thor on your side, as well as a Shibalanke, a couple of globals to help kind of support you getting out of them sticky situations.
Do you find it strange that Ninja Bobat locks in Shibalanke as he did last game? When last game he picked the football skin when his name is Ninja Bobat.
Right. Maybe he doesn't have gems.
I mean, like...
What is the Challengers team? They
yeah, that's all they get is gems.
Yeah, they got mad gems. Gem boys.
It's a ninja skin.
I know.
Come on, Bobat,
maybe he identifies more with the footballer than the ninja.
Maybe we don't know what ninja means in other languages, aside from Japanese.
Ninja.
Agni going to be locked in for mid, so it's possible we'll see Agni versus Ra in the mid lane. Back into the ban phase, Emir going to be locked out. Option to Spicy Waffles.
Emir. Wow.
There goes bots.
Thinking that that's what they don't want to deal with on their Athena. So they want to play this pretty aggressively, I would think, if they don't want the Emir coming their way. Or I'm sorry, rather passively, rather. Sure. If they don't want the Emir coming their way, they're going to try to turtle this up and have the Athena be more of a roamer and let Moex do Moex versus Ninja Bobat, which seemed to be a very, very favorable matchup. But there she is. It's the kitty, Bastet, going to the side of the Night's Watch. We've seen kind of very varying success with this god. Used to be kind of the go-to in North America, fell off. We saw it picked up a couple times yesterday as well. Will it be enough?
I like this pick into Ra. I think it's a really smart play. The issue is that Ra can build sprint and basically stop a lot of her damage early on. With that, would love to see Wolfie and or Game Hunter, who's going to pick it up, right? I don't know which. Pick up that sprint too, right? Make sure you get it online ASAP. It's 600 gold, which is quite an investment for the early game, but it's going to be necessary to stop Bastet's damage. Bacchus, Hercules, going to be locked in.
Some big boys.
Yeah, so Herc's going to go to the solo this time. That's going to be for Game Hunter. Bacchus going to Flurry Q.
Shout out to Bacchus for being morbidly obese but still having a six-pack.
That's my man.
How did he do it?
It's ancient Greek.
He's fat ripped.
That's actually what you're going to see in your Facebook next to those. How to get ripped in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Ancient Greek.
Ancient Greek paleo diet.
Yeah.
Drink wine, eat ham shanks.
And there's the tier. It was banned last game. We're going to have a warrior matchup this time. Chalk and Loki both falling to the wayside here. We're going to have a Herc tier matchup.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, it could still be that Ra. It could be Hercules. In the mid lane.
You all right?
Yeah.
How's that novel you've been working on?
It's getting better.
We'll be jumping into the game in just a second here. Much more standard lineups, it seems. Unlikely we'll see Tyr going into the Guardian role, so it'll be Tyr versus Hercules, Bacchus, Shibalanke versus Athena, Rama this time, Agni versus Ra, and then Thor versus Bastet. Very, very high tier lineups all the way through this time.
Indeed. Well, let's go on into the game. 2-1 and booyah. Ladies and gentlemen.
How did you do that?
The Spicy Waffles versus the Night's Watch. Let's introduce your squad. It's Game Hunter. Playing for the Spicy Waffles, who are the blue team in the bottom side of the minimap on the left side of your spectator UI. He will be the Hercules in this contest in the solo lane. The Bushi will be the jungler as Thor. Wolfie in the mid lane as Ra. And it's Flurry Q plus Ninja Bobat in the duo as Bacchus Shibalanke. Their opponents, once again, are the Night's Watch, up 1-0 in this contest, wearing the red trunks, top side of the minimap on the right side of your spectator UI. It's NQ as Tyr in the solo lane, Zindern in the jungle as Bast. Carino in the mid lane as Agni, and that leaves the Wolf of Elo Street, in addition to Moex the god in the duo lane as Athena and Rom.
So both the solo laners opting away from the mystical male rush. Very curious considering there are also physical junglers on both sides. They'll opt for the Bluestone Pendant. We got a hand 1 coming out from Tyr with a slew of potions, and we're going to have a hand 2 coming out from Game Hunter with the Potion Ward. Definitely my favored start. I mean, I love the early ward to make sure that they can't invade or do any silly stuff. Other than that, I mean, everything looks pretty normal.
Hey, Soulstone Agni.
Yeah, Bobat and Moex going to do the same thing they did last time, but the one outlier here is going to be the Soulstone. If we can hover over the Soulstone, this is a newer item just added to Smite. Now, it's going to give you a small amount of power and mana, no health, which makes it very risky, and a lot of MP5. Now, when you hit your 5 souls, your next ability cast consumes, and it gives you 30 magical power. So it can give you a decent amount of burst in the early game, but is generally considered a very risky item.
Yeah, but it makes some sense on Agni. You already have to hit you 3 times, or hit anything 3 times to get that passive active anyway. What's a couple more in hands? Probably Agni and Poseidon, the most likely to be picking up the Soulstone.
Wow, Bushy and Game Hunter get into lane real fast with about a 6-step advantage there as you see Zindern coming in. Now, this clear...
Do you really count steps in this game?
Absolutely, man. That's really, really important.
Super nerd.
Can you stop? That was maybe a misplay coming out from the Spicy Waffles. Game Hunter should have actually used the 2 immediately before the Berserker Barrage so that all 6 would have taken that damage. Thor going to be early on the rotation, but a little bit behind in experience.
Bucci takes a full volley, making his way into the mid lane a little bit early on that rotation. They hadn't quite got aggro, but they're going to try to make the aggressive play up to the left side, going for these back camps now, expecting the red to be down, and you can see the left side is fully engaged, no backup coming, and almost no mana remaining on the side of the Night's Watch duo.
They're going to get this without even using Hand of the Gods. That's how late the rotation was from Bastet.
Zindern, what you up to, buddy?
I mean, Zindern really should have just juked down to the bottom and taken those back camps himself. He had 19 seconds before his Hand of the Gods. If he played that correctly, he could have taken both back camps right there by just utilizing his damage for the first one, and then Hand of the Gods would have been up for the second, but he's choosing neither, and now he's gesturing towards left to go for the steal. Wolfie and Bushy, though, not going to let this happen for free.
Yeah, trying to draw even as Zindern here, but he's going to be forced, to use his hog.
That was not a good idea.
And they just overcommitted because they don't know that Bastet goes backwards?
I do, yeah, maybe they didn't know where he jumped from. Zindern taking some damage here. I don't think Bushy has the movement speed.
Oh, no. Yeah, he doesn't have it. Does he not have a point in Tectonic Rift either?
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he must not.
Otherwise, we would have seen it, right? But, I mean, what would he have put in? Can we hover on Thor real quick?
Yeah, okay, it's 202.
That's very, very, very strange.
Yeah,
perhaps
awkward.
a fat finger?
Maybe, or maybe just, thinking he was going to be more farm-oriented, but they just give it back to Zindern. He may have actually leveled up to take that back camp, right, going for the max DPS.
It's possible.
Something like that.
Was he 4
No, he was 3 then, so
yeah.
he took it coming back to the lane, just thinking they were going to farm more.
I have no analysis for this.
Yeah, without the stun, it makes a lot more sense why they couldn't kill Zindern there.
With that, Game Hunter actually at level 4
okay, here we go.
Opt for the heal. And right there, did you notice the Game Hunter stepped off to the side?
Yeah.
Fearless was up. He's like, there's no reason for me to take this extra damage. And, oh, look, Tyr heal as he's back to, it was a Chronos rewind that he just did.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
I didn't go into the tower.
Yeah, Tyr heal had all of its scaling removed at one point, and since then has been considerably buffed in a couple of different ways. The amount of healing that he went up modestly. But in addition to that, the way that he gets the healing, it's no longer split evenly between all 3 targets hit. He gets much more of a single target. So altogether, the god enjoying a little bit of a renaissance here in the last couple of months. Where
3v2, Mjolnir's has been used.
He had a beads early on, though. Yeah, that he's actually used. So 180-second cooldown for Bushy now.
It was probably better than having to use the ultimate, though, right? I mean,
yeah.
Is he going to be put into a spot where he's going to need to beads again in the next 3 minutes versus is he going to have gank potential? I mean, it seems to me that Bushy, especially with the fact that he's all damage at this point, considering he doesn't have Tectonic Rift, that he should be trying to make the play into Moex.
Who are you looking for, though? Moex here? I mean, he's such a slippery target. Oh, underneath the tower, they're going to make a dive, and Bushy's actually going to find that kill. Bacchus went deep there, and they get Carino.
To answer your question, Agni.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Agni was a target, and that's kind of, but to go to that idea, though, Bushy, not a lot of easy targets here. Rom very slippery, Agni very slippery, and Tyr is Tyr.
So as a min-max fanboy, I am so in love right now with the fact that Bushy was able to get that back camp, because now he's going to rotate over to right. He's going to get another back camp, and then the speed's going to be coming up as well.
Uh-oh, this could be a kill.
In the sky.
Clear vision. Bobat.
2.
Oh, just aced. Bobat, sit down. Maybe back to the jungle.
That's probably the worst feeling in Smite is you have to be hit by all 3 shots to die, and you fight someone like MOX, and those were bullseyes.
Maybe a little indication of the readiness of Ninja Bobat in this role. You know, you think most of the hunters seem to kind of know where those blind spots are on the map.
Oh, look at this.
NQ, look at the heal, though.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, nice boulder, bro, and how's your mana doing? You going to try to combo me again?
But you saw in that last engagement, right, that Bobat didn't look like he knew exactly where he wanted to be to kind of lose the LOS. Here comes a driving strike from Game Hunter. He's fighting basically everybody, but the Fearless taking him back out. Game Hunter's going to hog away the kitties. He lived through that?
Oh my god. I mean, this is why Game Hunter won launch tournament, right? I mean, you can't kill the guy. In the last game, right, he was low-key getting rushed down by 4 or 5 people at a time he was getting out of fights, turning around and killing 2. I mean, that is the God Hunter.
How did he live there? So, a lot used.
Hand of the Gods, right? I mean,
yeah, he hogs the cats, but maybe more importantly, the Athena ultimate and the Bastet ultimate used there. A couple of very high-potency, gank-oriented ults used to no avail. And, well, on the other side, the Thor did have a lot of success out of his first ultimate. It's one apiece, however, in the kill category, guys, as we are dead even in gold and experience. 5.5 minutes into this one.
Yeah, very, very impressive. The issue is that we're going to have MOX with a kind of a small advantage, right? You're looking at individual advantages. Zinder going to be behind on Bastet by a very small amount, considering, though, I mean, that's a lot of gold, actually. Oh, my God, that's a lot of gold. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a disparity. It's
almost Thor to Bastet?
It's like 400 gold,
but it's going the other way in the duo lane here, where it's Rom 400 gold ahead of Shibalanke,
which could be much worse.
Yeah, ultimately probably way more dangerous. Bastet and Thor are both going to fall off around the 25-30 minute mark, where that's where Rom really comes online. Shibalanke, however, also pretty solid late game powerhouse. 6 minutes in, mid camp's resetting left side here. Looks like it's going to be very aggressively pursued by the Night's Watch. Bacchus comes in, knock up, no hog, but uses Intoxicate. Going to find a burp as well out onto Carino, and here goes Thor into the sky.
Hey, Carino could be in some trouble
Wolfie, though. Wolfie rushed the stroke, and they just got baited. But Wolfie threw out that raw ultimate before the ultimate came down from Bushi. They could have easily set up that kill. However, he goes a little early. Itchy trigger finger, and they end up not converting.
And with that, it looks like the boys of the Night Watch going to get both right there. So still 1-1, but the gold much closer than it was. No kills found, despite a slew of ultimates used. In fact, there's only like 1 ultimate left right now on the Spicy Waffles, and that's going to be the solo lane, who didn't even rotate.
Yeah, a little bit of miscoordination there out of the Spicy Waffles, you could see. But the Night's Watch, they aren't in control of this one as they have been in game number 1. It's looking like a much more competitive contest here. NQ going around, clearing up the wave here. Game Hunter going to throw out the driving strike. Classic plays. Going to get another tower shot out of that one, actually. So
beautiful
well played, Game Hunter. He's good at this game.
Right there is what we were talking about.
That's the tier buff, yeah.
Now, the heal heals you 4 times over three targets, I'm pretty sure, right? You get healed twice for the first and then 2 remaining times for, I think, the equal of like 420 total.
No, that's the max. So, Gold Fury potentially going to be our next contention point at 7.5 minutes. 9 minutes is about where we saw it started up last time in the last game between these two. Roughly the same farm points, where MOX is sitting at his stacked up Devourer's Gloves 31, but this time keeping much closer pace is Ninja Bobat with his Heartseeker. 1
Sentry Ward, going to find 2 regular wards. Decent amount of gold earned back here as we have a timeout coming from the Night's Watch. Should only be a second here as they're going to, I guess, discuss some strategies and get right back into it.
The Night's Watch visual never ends.
As you hear.
Yeah. What was that noise?
That was Shibalanke's ultimate.
That was Kevin not muting his sound on the replay computer, I bet.
I heard Shibalanke ultimate and the poison darts.
Yeah, so yeah. Shibalanke's going in.
Sounds like Bobat's going to try to make some plays here.
Oh, indeed!
Hey,
the plays are attempted to be made. Here comes Bushy, but off the mark with his Thor ultimate.
2 again, going to hit. Not going to find the third.
Not going to find the third. Doesn't have his dash available, but it didn't matter. No.
Ooh, are they going to rush this?
Ability to really clean anything up. Bastet on the flank.
Wolfie.
Ogni here as well. Carino, he may have to dash to get into the position for this bomb. Let's see as the right side gank comes in. It's Zinder. There's a dash from Carino. The bombs come out, but already out of the mess is Bushy. And no one finds anything on this left side, but the Gold Fury may be coming our way.
You know, that was the small misplay coming out right there from Wolf Velo Street. Had he saved the taunt for the activation of Mjolnirs, he could have stopped the teleport and it might have resulted in a kill.
Yeah, with
that, yeah, with that. Bushy, though, look at this in the back line.
Backside, he's going to find just the one tap on the MOX. Double tap could have potentially made this a very tricky situation, but he should still be enough to force the reset. Zinder, he's going to get sniped out, and down you go. Flurry Q is going to fall as well, though. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Kitties for the tank, but that does mean that the Spicy Waffles don't really have any opportunity to go back in here. Oh, the pluck is so good into the boulder. Wolfie getting credit for that one as well. A double kill in as many minutes. Now as MOX is in some trouble on the backside, Bushy running him down. Mjolnir's attunement not going to be back up in time, and here, MOX is so brave.
He has no mana. There's nothing for them to do. MOX going to help NQ find that kill, and they turn this around to somehow a 3-for-3 overall across 9 minutes. And that really, to me, seemed like it was just going to belong to the Night's Watch.
Yeah, but they trade the Bacchus Thor for the Agni Bastet, a win for the Spicy Waffles.
Yes. You know, it would have been a little bit better for them if they took the Flurry Q and then were able to get the Gold Fury off of it, right? But they didn't have the line to it. The rotation was just too smart. Game Hunter was there.
Here comes the ultimate. Lawbringer over the top. Does he have the Fearless Chain? He does, but it's not going to be enough. Beads out by Ninja Bobat. Flurry Q not going to be able to close the distance as the darkness comes out from Shibalanke, and now it's NQ finds himself in a bit of trouble. Bobat, however, is going to get cleaned up by Zindern over the top with the scratch. Flurry Q is going to find another stun out onto Bastet here, but is not going to get the mid camps. They will go to the way of the Night's Watch, and the reinitiation from Bushi comes in. He's going to get right into the middle of several, but he's getting stunned out by the Agni Bombs. Beads force out from the Thor. Flurry Q so low already. MOX, he's going to move forward, but the cripple hit Bushi.
No.
Oh no, they don't have the re-engage. Here's the Rom shot. It hits. No, off the mark.
Close.
And MOX unable to secure that kill. Not much more happening on that one besides a kill into Ninja Bobat. Gold Fury on its way.
How long do we have until Game Hunter's ultimate? Remember, he did use the boulder early on until little avail. Actually, the kill's still going to Wolfie, but it looks like they can't do it. Game Hunter's presence is more than enough. And yeah, the boulder does wind up coming up there as well. So they do have enough pressure here.
Oh, that's a good Agni Bomb.
Does he chooses Wolfie, though? Right into the path of flames!
Oh, gross.
That is some SPL combos right there.
And somehow MOX finds Bushy as well in that fight. He got blown up by the Agni Bomb trying to stand in that raw heal. Very, very low, no beads available. And the Hunter just moves forward and finds a clean pick. Game Hunter going to try to pressure this one out. They give him so much respect. Walker trying to make his way on the other side. It's the double stun coming out from Game Hunter, but he's going to stun out himself. NQ does not have another Fearless Chain. He does, but he goes on a Flurry Q. MOX once again standing his ground. The man is crazy. No mana and only a scratch of health to speak of. Boulder over the top. We'll clean him up. Game Hunter's had enough. Wolf Illustrate quite low as well.
Wait, they're running away.
And they're going to force the reset with just one Viva Pinata.
They're going to run. They think Game Hunter is hanging around. Oh, this is the caster curse right here. It's so hard to watch something like that. They had a 100% guaranteed Gold Fury, and they don't take it because they think Game Hunter's rushing in. That is just like the Omega Aura. You're so good of a player that you're backing, and they think that in a 4v1 scenario that you are going to kill all of them.
That's right. Wow. Well, he does have the Mystical Mail as well.
But he's also level 11.
Yeah, sure. He unlikely kills all of them, but he could have been quite the pain. Importantly, though, for the Night's Watch is Carino leading all players in terms of XP gain, and Agni very, very good at that. And once again, we're going to see this kind of, it's a 50% gamble probably where we see it happen, but Agni with the Blink becoming more and more popular here. We see it, like I said, about 50% of the time, we'll see Agni pick up a Blink in that second active spot.
I love Combat Blink. I love it on mages. I think it kind of has replaced Aegis for that go-to in Season 2, although so far it looks like we're going to lack Heavenly Agility on this team, which is going to hurt them, especially compared to the Heavenly Agility that is already active on Raw.
Right, yeah, the bonus healing. Will we see him go for that kind of lobster-esque build that we saw out of the last LAN where cooldown boots into healing? Yeah, they missed their dashes.
Both of them just like right past each other. I love it.
Yeah, it looks like is it going to be a Toth coming out from the Raw?
It's still pretty early. Yeah, I would say. No, Asclepius is a different tree.
It doesn't start here,
that's
but
Soul Reaver or Thoth.
Right, but he could, he could reach back.
Did you notice the teamwork right there? They put the Sentry Ward down, 3 auto attacks, takes it down, 1 from each of them. Lightning fast, they take it down. It's the time of 1 shot, and then by himself, Zinder answers back.
That's right. All of the fancy execution in the world doesn't stop you from just letting Bastet kill your wards.
Mid camps on the left side have respawned here, and it looks like this one's going to go to the Night's Watch. Flurry Q in a lot of trouble here. Perfect CC chain, and it's going to be enough, though. Wolf of Elo Street getting very low. He gets stunned out while trying to move during the Xbalanque ultimate. Game Hunter getting low. MOX doing a lot of damage, and they will trade a 1-for-1 so far.
There's a lot of damage put up by Game Hunter with that Mystical Mail and his ability damage. Now it's going to find the double stun. MOX is going to roll away from this one and stun out the Bushy. Bushy, he's trying to find the kill. Gets a tectonic grip, but not in time. MOX cleans him up. Zinder trying to run away from the burn of Game Hunter. Game Hunter, can he run him down? No. Driving Strike is going to be required to get in there anymore. And now blinking away is Carino. He's got positioning now on the Game Hunter, but Ninja Bobat's holding off the rest of the wrecking force of NQ and MOX. But here's the blink into the Fearless Shade. It's on target, and down you go as MOX comes forward and crushes him as he tries to take to the sky and Rising Jaguar. No problem, but in the meantime, Game Hunter finds a solo kill of his own in the mid lane. He still seems to be in his launch tournament form, just wrecking the Spicy Waffles' chances at really falling too far behind in this one. I mean, the Night's Watch unable to pull ahead because of the Game Hunter, but now it should be enough as the first objective of the game is going to go down. The Gold Fury started by MOX, and really no options here for Game Hunter or Flurry Q.
Flurry Q can try his best here, but there's really no line for him to get in. Now, we had a 3-for-3 in the beginning, right? Overall, like 4 or 5 minutes, and then it just started to spiral. Suddenly it was 5-4, right? And then it was like 7-5, and then suddenly it's 12-6 with a Gold Fury. Night's Watch take the first real lead of the game to the tune of about 3,200 gold, and you see the levels getting bigger as well. Game Hunter starting to fall behind, about a level. Bushy level 11 right now compared to the 13 on Zinder. Mid lane, Carino still level ahead as well. Wolf of Elo Street with 2 levels. The duo lane really falling behind, though. Once again, Bobat, it doesn't seem like he is ready to play at the level, at least in this role, that MOX did. I think if he went back into the jungle, things would be different. But, I mean, how do you fight a god, you know, like MOX, right, as a player who's just kind of transitioning into the role?
No, he's kind of getting wrecked, honestly.
That's fair.
He's a level and 3/4 behind at 0-4.
And 1,200 golds. And he's built Heartseeker, right? So those stacks keep going away. His damage at this point is just, I mean, what, 50? Right? With 15 pen compared to the 60, 80, 90 damage coming out. I mean, that's why you build the Heartseeker, and he just doesn't have it.
Yeah, Executioner, and then the crit's going to be coming online as well for MOX, making it even more difficult. Left side, though, they're going to try to make a play for it. Wolf of Elo Street having none of it, though. Even with the Intoxicate coming out, nothing cooking for the Spicy Waffles.
I mean, I'm even surprised to see the Intoxicate come out. It's like they're not learning. Right, they're just getting pressured in the same way over and over, and even utilizing their ultimates there, or rather just one of the two, they're still kind of going even in these trades, and they got to remember, MOX is going to be able to heal for much more.
They're going to use the Athena ultimate here to secure the camp.
Wow.
Bobat's going to get taunted right back into it, even with the ultimate active. MOX is going to get CC'd down, take to the sky. Oh, nearly going to fall. It's going to take one more in hand. It's going to hit Bobat a couple times. Going to hit one on Bushi. Does he have the dodge roll? He does indeed.
Are you kidding
me? The Owner's Attunement out, but the Cat Scratch does him in. Zinder gets credit for that one.
Wow. MOX, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. There's no stopping the guy. He was one hit away from death, and when he lands, his team, right? For the one time that MOX might be in trouble, his team was ready and just covering every option. He actually rolling Assault away in between the two and still finds safety. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. MOX going to be able to go back, get all of his health back, and they find another kill off of what seemed like a guaranteed win there for Spicy Waffles.
As we talked about it in game number 1, Xbalanque very, very reliant on getting those early game kills, get his passive stacked up. He does get bonus power for every kill he gets. Hasn't found one yet in 17 minutes into this contest. Does not spell good tidings for the Spicy Waffles. Night's Watch is going to continue to pull ahead more and more and more, and Rama, with his very effective double steroid kit, is going to be further ahead than Xbalanque will be.
And look at the Night's Watch builds. Check this out. Divine Ruin's already on Agni.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Love it.
And then they have a creeping, or now creepier curse coming out. This is going to be a weakening. They have a ton of healing reduction, and that's what you want to see. They have healing on Ninja Bobat, right, with the Aussie. They're going to have a ton of healing with Raw Solar Blessing. There's Mitigate Wounds and Hercules. There's a lot of healing on that team, and they're ready to counter it. This is what you want to see coming out from an SPL level team, and right now it seems like Night's Watch is just edging out the Spicy Waffles by that much.
Yeah, I will say though that Soulstone start onto Agni probably left something to be desired, right? He probably wouldn't have had those earlier deaths with a little bit of extra HP.
That 100 extra health is no joke. That's the 3 auto attacks in the early game. So it's a really big deal. All right, so we're going to get Zinder in a little bit of trouble, but beautiful combo from Carino and NQ. Game Hunter very low here, and he's going to get taken down. Lawbringer will find no targets, but they've already gotten the most important one here. The level 16 Game Hunter will take a trip back to the base.
Bushi.
Is he?
His beads forced out again here, but he's going to try to stay in the fight. Why would you run back in, buddy?
MOX is in the sky.
Is he going to snipe him out?
He got him.
He will indeed.
Oh, and then he hit 2 with the final shot.
Yeah, he hit 2 with the final shot. His player damage has got. Let's look at the player damage overall here. It's got to be. Oh, wow. Look at Game Hunter.
Mail. Mystical Mail.
Fake damage?
It's what it does.
Fake damage, Brandon?
It's what it does.
Yeah, 13,500.
It's definitely ineffective. It's a lot of that damage is getting sent into tier, and he's healing it back up.
10.6k on the Bastet. MOX actually much further down than I would have expected in this contest. That last set of ultimates, very, very good. Bobat going to get cleaned up once again. The snipe on target hitting 2, but it's not going to be enough to dissuade the boys of the Night's Watch from taking this tier 1 tower, and away they go with a tower under their belt and a 10-kill lead moving into the 19th minute.
I think we're going to see a very different end this time, because last time we saw the Titan go down, this is looking like F6 territory.
F6, boys?
This is looking like Surrender territory. I mean, they're really going to be fighting an uphill battle here, and the odds of them winning, even at this stage, are getting very, very slim. Their control is just nil at this point, and their comp isn't as strong, right? You have your Herc, who's great. You have your Shibalanke, who's great, and your Thor, who's great, but they're all behind at this point. Tier's endgame going to be just as potent as Hercules is at this stage, right? Maybe even a little bit more, considering the build. Mystical Mail, not super effective in the endgame compared to Runeforge Hammer. The cost effectiveness can allow him to get just a few more items online and fast. Thor not doing nearly as much damage, 3 levels behind against the Bastet, and then Shibalanke 3 levels behind Mox's Rama, right? And that's not a sentence you ever want to hear when you're fighting against Mox.
Yeah, and it's tier with the. It's not the most greedy build you could possibly go for, but it's pretty greedy.
Very
Power
lacking
boots,
in
Runeforge,
defense.
Jotuns, right? I mean, it's lean if nothing else. The Runeforge is the only defensive item there.
Next up, I assume we're going to see the Spirit Robe going to max out the CDR, give him more protections and the extra defenses coming out. And we still have an open slot here. Remember, Mox hasn't even hit the gas pedal yet. He doesn't even have Sprint online, and when that goes online, things are going to change even more.
Yeah, that's maybe to the credit of the Night's Watch for protecting him so that he doesn't have to buy that item just yet, allowing him to cut gold and build right into that crit.
So they spent a lot of cooldowns there on the blue side just to do some damage into Wolf, and it's really not going to be that much. Zindern moving forward, throwing out some scratchies. Same thing, not a lot of damage to Flurry Q. Bushy going to the top here, looking for a big stun. He's going to try to combo into Wolf, and they're going to get a kill there. That's
a good kill as Gold Fury is in contest right now, but Bach is quite low as well. Ram has taken to the sky. He's going to clean that one up. Now he's going to go for the Bushi. No, going to miss that second shot. Likely not enough to kill, but it would have been pretty damn close. And now forced off of the mark are the Spicy Waffles. Game Hunter going to try to do what he can, but he gets picked up by the Fearless Chain. Mox is going to clean him up as well. Looked like he activated his Beads 3 there to get his cooldowns back as well.
There was actually a small misplay from Game Hunter there, is that he activates Mitigate Wounds and then immediately Driving Strikes. Remember, it's going to heal you back based on the damage that you take. If he had waited 3 seconds before doing the Driving Strike, the heal would have just skyrocketed and would have kept him alive a little bit longer. So Game Hunter, and maybe a moment of over-passionate decision-making and a little bit of panic, finds himself with not enough healing. He's going to get picked up, and what is now the second Gold Fury of the game going to be taken by the Night's Watch.
And that's going to be a 7,000 gold lead and a 14,500 experience lead. 19-7 here. 21.5 minutes into this one, leading still 1-0 in this best-of-5 contest. The Night's Watch is in control of the Spicy Waffles again in game number 2. And unlike what we saw yesterday, where game 2 was where the team from behind seemed to have their resurgence, here it's all Night's Watch again. Spicy Waffles had a few moments of shining glory on the back of Game Hunter this go-round, but not enough to keep them competitive with the Night's Watch through the 22-minute mark.
You know, the 4 biggest names in the game, NQ, Game Hunter, Bobat, and Mox, right? You look at these 4 players as the ones to watch because these are the guys we've seen in the lands overall, right?
Well, Bobat and Carino used to play, and NQ used to all play for that same squad.
That's true. That's true, but I mean, you look at Bobat here versus Mox. Mox has a huge advantage. I mean, you want to argue that Game Hunter's on the level of NQ, but the stats so far have not provided that same story. I mean, both games, NQ has had a much larger offense.
Blinking forward with the Athena ultimate is NQ, putting the damage down onto Bushy. Bushy is dead, and his beads used as well. Carino in a bit of trouble as Game Hunter comes rocketing through, but he's not going to get too much accomplished. They're going to give it a movement speed buff to the Wolf of Elo shirt as well. That's hell. That's actual hell.
Right? I mean, you really don't want to see Athena being quicker. I mean, it's just not.
The last thing you want is fast Athena on the other squad.
And she already has Teleria boots, right? I mean, she's going to be burning.
She's speedy.
So with that, they take another huge win there, and they're going to keep using this Fire Giant, blink it in. That's the quickness right there. He was able to close that distance lightning fast, and that's going to force out beads usage right there.
That's beads from Bobat. Okay, that's a 150-second cooldown now, or 130 as it is. That they're going to have to wait that one out.
So they're pushing into the tier 2 here. This is a guaranteed 1,500 gold and a little bit more pressure into the base. We're going to have a 5v5 here as the respawns come through. He chooses NQ.
Yeah, NQ, well, we mentioned, he's not the tankiest target possible. There's the Xiblanque ultimate. They're going to try the Thor ultimate as well here. No, Bush. He decided better that one.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Is this thing on?
Yeah. Diving in, or rather getting pulled in. Double driving strike. Beautiful. Belly flop as well.
Wow,
Flurry's going to find a big kill. And we're going to see them try to go for this one. Zindern, though, unstoppable. Going to find his 7th kill this game. And the Phoenix goes down. Game Hunter finds himself alone here versus 4.
That may be game.
They should probably just end this one.
We're going to see if they're going to be able to break the base here. They're going to move in towards the Titan.
Wasn't he just dead? I feel like NQ is at like 30% health.
I heard tier heals. So it's going to be the Titan attempt here now. As it's going lower and lower and lower. 50%, but maybe pushed off the mark here. No, it looks like this one is going to be going as well to the Night's Watch. Bacchus going to do what he can, continuing to try to hold them off.
Oh, wait, we got a snipe coming
comes out. It kills Bastet. Trying to take down the Titan now. It's just MOX remaining. I don't know if they're going to be able to secure it here. No, he tries to take this guy down. He goes to a triple for Wolfie. Well, sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, Brandon.
Yeah, a little bit. They didn't even second guess it. They went all in. And they don't get it, right? But, I mean, they used the Fire Giant effectively, right? They got the Phoenix down. Granted, I think the issue is that there are still 4 towers and 2 Phoenixes on the map.
Yeah, I think I would have probably tried to kill some of these towers.
I probably would have went for the Titan.
I mean, I was calling for it, but in retrospect now, I would have gone for the towers.
Yeah, I mean, you could have just burned down the left side towers, possibly even gotten a Phoenix with how much time they had left. But, I mean, I like the call, right? Because the risk is they throw some golden experience their way and they lose the remainder of their Fire Giant buff. Right? They don't lose any towers off of it. The reward, though, was we win the damn game, right?
So we can talk quickly about one of the changes that are coming into the next patch where the maximum bounty that you can get from a kill is being increased from 500 to 750. Would have factored in pretty heavily here for Wolfie, where he picked up a triple kill from a few level 20 targets that were on big killing streaks, especially MOX. Could have potentially, in the next patch, would have potentially given him another item on top of that Lotus Crown.
Well, yeah, don't forget, Zindern as well was on an unstoppable spree. That would have been 750.
Yeah, they could have recouped quite a bit more gold there. So interesting thing to look at as the next patch comes around.
Now, is this going to be enough, though? I mean, that's the question. They got the deicide. The Fire Giant's coming up in a little over a minute. Do they have an opportunity to utilize this? I mean, the issue is Game Hunter's not really doing a lot of damage at this point, not compared to what NQ's pulling. And then you have Bushy is not doing anything compared to Zindern at this stage.
Oh yeah, no, he's had basically no impact compared to what the Bastet's had.
Teleport coming out. Is that Game Hunter? I mean, is he? Yeah, driving strike's going to be used. Not going to hit. Fearless, same thing, and he's down. Wow.
Yeah, Pinata comes out, but it's not enough. MOX gets credit for that one as well as he continues to rack up those fantasy stats. 9, 2, and 11 is MOX. He doesn't have his sprint 3 now.
Now, you could talk about how the fact that they lost Hercules but still have Bacchus, but Bacchus is not half the front line, right, as Hercules was. And with that, Hercules being down, I don't see them getting through this one. We get a double tap. It's not much damage. We'll see the shield wall in the background. And look at NQ just diving all the way. Jesus, going for it. It's going to take about 40% of his health there. Force the Lawbringer out, but they're pushing inside. They have an opportunity to end again, this time with 3 more objectives down. And they're going to go for it. Should be
quite a bit easier, yeah. Titan still fairly low, now into the 10% mark. This is going to be it. The Night's Watch will take game number 2 as well.
Now, Game Hunter teleports in to fight 2 or 3 and gets picked off. Now, if he was there at the Phoenix, did they have the opportunity?
Maybe they hold him out.